Hello, good morning, and welcome to this Dawn Busters Taste Challenge. We have two North American rye whiskeys. Okay, here is Templeton Rye, introduced in 2005. It is 40% alcohol. It is called Templeton Rye, aged 4 years, so that'll tell you how old it is. They don't disclose the ratio of rye to other grains. It's Indiana rye. It's produced in Indiana, and then it's bottled at Templeton Distillery in Iowa. It does not say straight rye, so it may have coloring and flavoring added. Beautiful embossed bottle. Runs about $32 per bottle. My friend David got it for $18, and I got it for a Christmas gift, so I didn't have to, I didn't buy it anyway. Maxwell says, good morning. Good morning, Ron. Good morning to you, Maxwell, and the Russian Federation. So we got a wooden cap with a neoprene, that's synthetic rubber, with a stopper. Now, the competitor is Crown Royal Northern Harvest Rye. Introduced in 2015. It's 95% rye. It's coming in at 90 proof. Take this felt bag off. Canvas bag. No age statement, so we know it's at least 3 years old by Canadian law. Rye whiskey. Now, the price for this, I don't know what the price is, but a beautiful bottle also. Not the best looking plastic cap, but I got this liter. This is a liter, come to find out, for $15.99 at Discount Depot. It's hard to believe they had it for $15.99, isn't it? But that was the price now. The label's peeling off in the back. Okay. Made a little hiss when you get down. When the liquor starts to go down, it'll build up air pressure, and you'll get a hiss sometimes. Okay. It's Canadian whiskey, so it may have coloring and flavoring added. Canadian whiskey is allowed to have coloring and flavoring added, so this whole thing about straight whiskey doesn't really come into play in Canada. Although, you notice I said they're allowed to have it. I didn't say they did have it. Now, you can buy some Canadian whiskeys that will explicitly state no coloring or flavoring added. Okay, so, but if they don't say that, you can more or less guess that they have caramel coloring added and some flavoring. Appearance, well, virtually the same, amber gold. So the appearance won't matter. Turn on the light now because I don't have to worry about the glare. I always have the light off so I can show the glasses. Daylight is arriving. Let's see what the price. So, well, let's do a screen share first. I've shown Templeton enough times, so I'm not going to show that again. Crown Royal Northern Harvest Rye, 45% alcohol. Combines a distinctive flavor of Canadian rye grain with the unmistakable smoothness of Crown Royal for a truly exceptional tea. Crown Royal Northern Harvest Rye, Canadian whiskey to earn World Whiskey of the Year in Annual Whiskey Bible in 2016. Okay. I said 95% rye. I'm sorry, it's 90% rye. So it's 90-90. Sorry about that. 90% rye, 90 proof. Little mistake there. Baking spices, cereal, and light wood. On the nose, gentle oak tones, rich butterscotch, spiced vanilla, and soft peppery notes. Smooth and creamy. About all that, but that's what they claim. What else is in there? Signature series. Well, of course, deluxe, or as they spell space, so they're not sure how to spell their own product. Deluxe, Deluxe, Rye, and the Black. The Master Series, 30-year, 29-year, 18-year Golden Apple. Well, those are going to cost hundreds of dollars, so I hope you got money. XO, the new bottle looks sharp. Reserve Barley Edition, I've seen it around. Then you got all the flavors: vanilla peach, blackberry, which I could have bought, but then I waited and sold out. I didn't get it. Salted caramel. And then you got drink. I've never tried those RTDs. I'm starting to get sick of those things, man, those flavored things. They're really starting to wear on my nerves. All that sugar. Retired whiskeys. Honey, XR, the red wheat, I think they use. I'd like to have tried that one. Maple, wine barrel finish, XR, Texas Mesquite. A lot of people said that was nasty. I don't know. Blender's Mash. I have a bottle of the mash, Blender's Mash. Good product. Winter Wheat, Cornerstone. So there you go. Big portfolio for that company. Let's check the prices for Northern Harvest Rye. And then we'll get this challenge done. I don't think it's going to be too challenging. So they're selling for $44.99, which sounds about right. I found it for $15.99. Now there's the pretty box it comes in, which I didn't keep the box. I have time to things. Okay. I'll be right back. I got to take a break to go put the trash out. They're coming early. I never would have imagined they'd show up when it was still dark. Yet last Thursday they came at 1 in the afternoon. Stanley says, top of the morning to you, sir. I can't hardly stand all those crazy flavored beers either. Yeah, I mean, they're okay, but they just get bad. All right. The sad thing is most of the craft beers I find these days are some kind of flavored beer concoctions. It's getting really difficult. May have to stop doing them. Now some people said they're going to send me some craft beers. I'm still waiting. They came to me and said, oh, I want to send you beer. And I was like, nah, don't worry about it. It's a bunch of trouble and expense. Oh, no, that's nothing to me, they said. I said, okay, now It's been a month. It's not coming in because they're telling me it's a lot of trouble and expense. I said, I believe we discussed that issue already, but I'm not going to, let it drop because they insisted. So, all right. And if you insist, then I'm going to insist. It's fair play. But now, hmm, standard aroma, little spice, generalized whiskey aroma there. Sorry about the noise. God, coming in here before 6 a.m. Hard to believe. If you hear my trash can, you'll hear all these bottles and cans. Listen. The aromas, the appearance is the same, and the aroma is the same, and the price is. Should have checked the price per 750, huh? $32.90. Okay, so the price is the same. They're literally the exact same price normally. Now, I did not pay a normal price. Remember, I told you this was a gift, so I didn't pay anything, but he got it for 18. And this I found on the super discount for $15.99 for a liter. So I mean, it's $44.99 at the store, and I went to a specialty store and they had it for $15.99. Now, I hope you don't think those bottles lasted long on the shelf because they certainly did not. Let's go with the taste. Cheers. Standard flavor, spicy rye, cereal grain, whiskey, whiskey flavor. Rye doesn't taste like bourbon. Rye tastes like mint. Bourbon tastes like corn grits, which is basically what it's made from. All right. This camera does sometimes have problems focusing. Huh. I'm picking up a lot more wood, like not charred oak necessarily. I don't know it. You see, in Canada, I don't think it has to have charred oak to be rye whiskey. If you read the regulations, it's really not too specific. So I guess in Canada, to be rye whiskey, it just has to be mostly rye, which it is since it's 90% rye. All right. Oh yeah, I have to update that. 90% rye. Fix that little problem right there. So potentially, and neither one is straight rye because in Canada, like I said, it doesn't really mean anything. And the rye, we know this one doesn't say straight rye. So they're both liable to have flavoring or aroma, not aroma, flavoring or coloring added. You understand what I'm saying? So they both could be flavored or colored. But whatever the case, whoever did these did a very good job. So they're both very nice. There's a little wood on Templeton, but it's just a little bit. Assuming that's Templeton. And I am assuming that. And this one, you get a lot of oak. Does it necessarily taste like charred oak? But I believe it is. Joe Hill says, what's with Blanton's? I've seen some being sold for $64. I've read it's sold around $45 to $60 in Tennessee, yet I've seen it being sold exponentially more, $130 to $200. If you pay over $100, you're out of your mind. And really, if you pay extra, you're getting ripped off, honestly, because it does show up here. I saw some show up here last week. Okay. And they'll run it for $65. At the high end, $69.99. All right, $69.99. I wouldn't pay that because I remember when it was $55.99, I thought that was fair. But people go cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs with Blanton's. Is it a good bourbon? Yeah, it's certainly very good. It's most excellent. Do I like it? Well, yeah, I love it. But on the other hand, is it really that much greater than, say, like Buffalo Trace, which you can find around here for $23.99? I would say no, it isn't really. In your mind, it is. You say, oh, yeah, it is. Well, okay, maybe you cognitively it is. But when I did blind taste tests with it, you couldn't really tell it apart from the other ones. So, and I really don't see people doing blind taste tests. I saw one guy did, but then he screwed it up because he was doing too many in a row. He's doing Eagle Rare, Blanton's, and Buffalo Trace. That was the problem. He should have done a tournament. Is there a major difference between Eagle Rare, Blanton's, and Buffalo Trace besides the aging process? Because Eagle Rare is 10-year age. They kind of like the same, kind of like the same. Notice I didn't say they were definitively the same. Show me someone who does a good job, and I will show you someone who is better than most and worthy of the company of kings. Okay. Well, these two are. So, woodiness. Nice smooth bourbon. Nice smooth rye. Sorry about that misspeak. Nice smooth rye, but a little bit more wood action going on. So I prefer the Northern Harvest rye. I'm not picking on USA and preferring Canada over the United States. I'm just saying it tastes better to me. Not profoundly better, but a little nicer. And I got it wrong. That's the Templeton. So I have 2 losses in this Taste Challenge series. I've got 2 losses and a tie. And I think I have, 8 wins? I could check. But I did pretty well, actually. Very well. When you consider that these rye whiskeys, man, they are a lot like bourbon whiskeys. You got fancy labels. You got various wildly varying price points. One's touted. People roll their eyes at another brand and all of this. But when you get down to it, put them in a blind taste test and let's see how greatly different they are. And my experience is that they're not really. It's just my experience. If you're doing a blind taste test and you're doing it accurately, you cannot cheat. And I guess, well, if you can, I don't know how to. I'm not that sneaky, but and then you can't be biased because there's the challenge. It's there. You're tasting it. You know what it is when you look at the label after you reveal it. So you got it right or you got it wrong. I think that's from the book of Proverbs. Oh, okay. I've read that whole book many times. I'm thinking of Psalms, 150 chapters. Yeah, so I'm reading 2 Timothy right now, the epistle. 2nd epistle to Timothy. All right, I'm sorry I got it wrong, but that's the way it goes. Now we're off of rye whiskey, probably till next year. And I love rye whiskey more than any other type, I do believe, but me too, it's one of my favorites. Yeah, so let's see if I put a little glue on the back here. Get this label repaired. But now it's on to bourbon, and I have a very nice bourbon, and it's called Ezra Brooks 1783 Small Batch. It's a new edition from 2021. I found out that they updated it in 2021. They've made it higher proof from like 86 to 90. They age it 6 to 8 years, about 7 years, 6 to 8 years. On a definitive age statement, it's a range. So it could be as low as 6 or as high as 8, but more than likely it's a blend of different bourbons with the lowest aging is 6 and the highest is 8. 6, 7, and 8 year bourbons. So, that's what it is. So, small batch, meaning it's coming from less than 300 barrels. You say, well, that's a lot of barrels. I know, but you got to think about how much Evan Williams is produced each day. It's such a large amount that even if it's a large amount, it's a small batch. You know what I'm saying? It's like a Jack Daniel's small batch might be bigger than most other companies' full portfolio because of the massive amount of whiskey they produce each day. So remember, small batch is a relative statement. When I was on the Barton 1792, okay, this glue is working. Good, it's holding. Barton 1792 distillery tour. I asked the lady, the girl, really. I said, you have a relative who works here? She said, yeah, my father works in the distillery. They always, the girls that give the tours there, they always get it because they get the job because one of their parent or their uncle works there. But that's cool, that's fine, keep it in the family. But I said, what is a small batch? Like, actually, what does that mean? She said, it doesn't mean much of anything except that it's a smaller than normal size. In other words, it's smaller than what is normally produced for that brand. She said, so it may not necessarily be small. Now, if it's for Blanton 1792, their small batch would be small because Blanton's is not like a big production whiskey. It's big, but not a big production whiskey. Blanton's is minuscule compared to like Evan Williams, Jack Daniel's, Jim Beam, Crown Royal, Wild Turkey, those kind of things you see. So you got these little craft distilleries like Bayou Craft in Louisiana, Bayou Whiskey Company. I mean, everything they make a small batch because they don't make big batches. The distillery is tiny. I used to love reading through Proverbs over and over again. What about the Book of Wisdom? That's a good one too, Book of Wisdom. All right. Book of Sirach also. Okay. Anyway, these are both winners, so they cost the same. And I couldn't tell them apart. And they're both enjoyable. So either way it goes, you don't really lose. I mean, I got it wrong. Okay, so I lost, but you don't really lose because they're both nice. There we go. Now it would be Ecclesiastes, yes, and there's Ecclesiasticus. But anyway, that's it. Get ready for Friday's Taste Challenge because it's going to be bringing in bourbon that Evan Williams 1783. I'm so excited about it. And when I tell you the price I paid, you'll insist that I'm making up a lie, but I'm not. All right, now it's time to go for a walk as daylight has slowly arrived here. Y'all take care now. Bye-bye.